Those are my words exactly. In the Morelos Mountains, campesinos are planting their fields, where the ghost of Zapata rides a horse that can still outrun the wheel. High in the sky above and clear out of sight is the free Mexican Air Force flying tonight. Well, there in Kentucky, a cowgirl is cooling her heels, remembering that God gave us herbs and the fruits of the field. But a criminal law that makes outlaws of those seeking light make the free Mexican Air Force Mescalito riding his white horse. The free Mexican Air Force is
I want to get that down low there. Salute everybody, man. Bruce Gas, boxing, jazz, and more here with you with the water. Almost didn't get this one rolling here tonight, man. My brother Trick Nolte, he hooks up with these boxers, man. He hooks up with boxers you know. He hooks up with obscure boxers you've never heard of. You know, unfortunately, I've heard of them. And Trick had a fighter tonight, man. A flyweight fighter who fought back in the 80s. His name is Arthur the Flash Johnson. And I didn't think Trick could get a hold of him, man. I thought there was a little problems in communications. And then 5 minutes ago, my phone is just loaded with stuff, and it's real slow. And Trick called me. He says, "Hey, look on your text." And the text didn't even show up. So anyway, I shook the phone, whatever. I got the text, and he says, "Yeah, he's ready. Here's his email." So I sent Arthur an email, I sent Trick an email, I sent George Jakovic an email. We'll see what happens over here, man. This is Tuesday night fights on a Thursday night. G5, my brother, man. Salute to you, man. Thank you for coming in here. Let me shout out everybody that came in here, man. I'll see if my boys hop in the back, man. Cause like I said, this was one of these little shows that we put together, and we don't even know if it's going to go on. I thought I was just going to delete it 1 minute beforehand. Sure enough, man, I got on here. You know, I got a call, and we're going to make it a reality. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking in my back room here to see if anybody shows up. If not, it's only YouTube, man. We can sit there and talk about the tincture that I made. That's kicking in nicely now, by the way. But Mr. Pads, bro, thank you for coming in here. Rolly, salute, bro. The Opulent LD, brother, thank you for coming in here. Blessings to you, my brother. Iceman, thank you, my man. Derek Clark, my bro, thanks for coming by. And always my brother G5, man, thanks for coming in here, man. Welcome to a little sense of reality on these crazy YouTube streets where we like to talk boxing, and I like to bring back boxes that I used to watch on HBO and Saturday afternoons. I didn't know what was going to happen here tonight, but I'm crossing my fingers. I just sent out an email, and we'll see what happens if the stars show up. Cause I've been blown off a lot on YouTube lately. You know, we're gonna have the face-off with Tim Witherspoon Jr. and Hasim Rockman Jr. and had them both on the same show. Problem is, one of them came on at the beginning of the show One came on at the end of the show. And it was the same thing with Skywalkers. You know, Tim Jr. was on there earlier, and Hasim came on. Tim was already gone, so it's tough getting these getting these celebrities, their schedules, to getting them at the same time hooked up, man. But anyway, we're trying our best over here, and this tincture's kicking in nice too, man. Just to change the subject for a bit, because you know Bruce Gas, boxing, jazz, and more. Hey, Mary Teresa, my sister. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for coming by, man. I appreciate it. And I had this thing called the Levo 2. It's kind of the next generation in weed smoking. This Levo 2 is a thing that makes hash oil. Not hash oil. It makes infused butter and infused honey. And it's a nice little thing. It's an infuser. And I used it a couple of times, and it's made out of plastic, and it cracked. And I got really mad. It ruined my day last Saturday. I was like, what the fuck? I got it from Amazon, and I haven't done like a ton of business with Amazon. I didn't realize how easy it was to make the exchanges. Anyway, they just, after a day of trying to get in touch with them through the internet, they finally sent me an email with a return, I don't know, a screenshot or something where I could bring it down. Hey, Victory, salute, brother. Where I could bring it down to the UPS store. And anyway, I wrapped it up hastily because it cracked. The plastic cracked for some reason, and you couldn't seal it. I even put super glue on there. I said, they're never going to take this thing back. It's been exactly a month, and I love the thing, but it cracked. I thought my wife did it. But then I'm reading a little bit on YouTube because they talk a lot about these Levo 2s and this Magical Butter, another machine that I picked up. And so anyway, I brought it back, and 2 days later, I got an email. They took it back. MP, what the fuck? Salute, my brother. Thanks for coming by. Man, my YouTube is running faster than my StreamYard with the chat. Usually I see it on StreamYard quicker, and I'm seeing it on YouTube quicker. Cause I got 3 screens in front of me, man. I'm high tech over here. I got my big one here. I got one down here, and I got a laptop over here. So, I'm fucking 21st century here, bro. I'm trying to do my best to make up for all these years of my stupidity on the net. But anyway, man, I brought this back and got my dough back. And I was going to get another one, but I procrastinate, and I'm sitting home, and the old lady comes back. She's got this thing called Magical Butter machine. I think the cover for it is right here. Yeah, man, this was the top of the box. MB, I didn't want to wreck the box. It's a lot bigger box. This is only the top of it, but it's kind of like a thing about the size of a coffee machine. And anyway, at first I said, man, what'd you buy this for? Let's make sure we make sure we bring it back. She bought it at some smoke shop up the street. But anyway, I'm going online and I'm looking at the thing, the Magical Butter thing, and it says this is the only machine that makes tinctures. And you have to buy the grain alcohol, the fucking 190 proof shit. And if you put it in the other, the Levo, the machine I had, it says do not put alcohol in, risk of a fire, blah 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 blah. So anyway, man, I don't like making the butter and the oils. I like making the honey, but I'm trying to keep a lot of these fats out of my diet, and I need a big dose when I dose up. But to make a long story short, what I did was I kept this Magical Butter thing. I made this tincture, Green Dragon tincture. You can Google that. That's it's the real deal. You put an ounce of weed in here. You decarbolize it first of all. That means you put it in the oven for about a half hour, and it activates the delta 8 THCs. There's a long process that I couldn't even begin to explain to you. But this is what you have to do to extract, to infuse it. So anyway, I did this, put it in the machine. My wife went out and bought the grain alcohol. They don't sell Everclear in Rhode Island, but they sell fucking grain alcohol. Make you blind. Excuse me. Little piece of chicken on my... Anyway. Fucking, the grain alcohol is stronger than the Everclear. It's going to make you blind if you drink it. You drink a shot of that. Just a few drops of it. It's like 151. It fucking explodes in the mouth. But anyway, guys. I got this Green Dragon tincture that I made up. I made about 2 cups of it. and it took 8 hours to make. You can make the stuff, but it takes like months to make it the old-fashioned way. That's putting the alcohol in the jar and shaking it up and putting it in putting it back and forth. But anyway, man, I put one together, and and I'm trying to stop smoking because of the irritation on the esophagus, the lungs, all the congestion. Feels a lot better not to be smoking. I haven't smoked in about 5 or 6 days now. I've just been doing this tincture. Relaxes me nicely, gets me in the mood to talk boxing. I think I need some kind of an antidepressant, and this is my natural antidepressant. But anyway, man, my buddy Trick Nolte just stopped in the building, and this is my man. This is the man who reached out. I'm gonna have to go here and straighten out my settings here because I know with the way they got this new setup here, I'm gonna have to echo cancellation. Yeah, I don't need that anymore. Okay, I think we're good. Trick, how you doing, my brother?
Hey, I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, man, loud and clear.
Oh,
StreamYard's got this
oh, cool, cool.
cancellation.
Yeah, it's weird now. It's weird now because I just clicked on it now. I never seen it. It had some kind of lady on there, like a blue looking lady. Well, I don't know why,
Yeah,
but it's a blue looking lady. And I just I saw like, oh, am I on the right spot? But yeah, I'm doing good, man. I just got off the phone with Flash Johnson. Um, I don't know why. I thought that St. Louis was an hour ahead, but we're actually on the same time zone. And he kind of got things confused, but he's just leaving the gym, and he said that when he gets settled, he'll hop on with us or whatever. So hopefully he'll do it. He said he will. So
beautiful, beautiful, bro.
yeah.
Hey, man, this is YouTube. I'm glad I got you on here, man. Hey, everybody out there, man. This is my brother Trick Nolte. This is my real brother. I talk to Trick at least once a week, man. Trick hangs out, Facebook, Instagram, and he's the guy who actually reaches out to these fighters, man. He reaches out and they reach back to him, and it's such a beautiful thing, man. I mean, it's something that in my 60 plus years of being on this earth, getting these guys on a show, talking to them, it's just beyond my belief. And Trick, man, you do all that shit. How did you start doing that? How'd you start reaching out to these heroes?
Um, I guess I don't know. I've been doing this for maybe going on 3 years now. I just decided, man, that boxing is not what it used to be. You know, um, and with the emergence of this YouTube stuff and all, I felt that it's time to start getting some of these older fighters on these panels, platforms to talk with us, man. Because um, I was just the other day, man. I was watching Kermit Cintron versus Teddy Reed. You know what I'm saying? At 154 pounds, I believe that's where they fought at. And man, them guys were slugging it out, man. Two power punches going at it, and it's like, um, and think about this: the Vincent Petway versus Simon Brown fight. I was watching that also. Them guys are slugging it out, and it's like you can't get the fights that you want today at that weight class, pretty much. I mean, yeah, you had undisputed with Jamal Charlo and Brian Castanos, but I would like to see other fights in that division. The Fondora guy. I like to see him mix it up with Tony Harrison or something. You want to see them kind of fights, man, and we're not getting what we are used to seeing. I know from my era of boxing and definitely from your era and a lot of other people probably in the chat too, we're not getting what we should be getting. And this Terrence Crawford and Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence fight, man, should already happen. And people want to blame this person and blame that person. We're the ones pushing this uh, boxing stuff to begin with, because them other mainstream media people, they don't talk about this stuff. We are the ones that's talking about it. We're the one pushing it, for these fights to happen. But back to what you're saying about reaching out to the old school. I just reaching out to the old school fighters, man. I always tell them, man, let them guys know we don't forget about them. And when they done fighting, these managers, these promoters, they don't care nothing about them, you know. So that's where people like myself step in, people like you know, Major Keys talks to old school fighters, you know, Marco. It's a few other channels out there that do a good job reaching out to them guys and talking with them. But you know, I just have a unique way of doing it. You know, most of them guys are on Facebook, a lot of them on Instagram, and a lot of times, man, I meet other people um, reaching out to them. Like I never would have thought, you know, hooking up with Tommy Attardo. You know, that was something um, really very interesting. You know, when you had him on the show, and when I talked to him on the phone the first time when I spoke with him, he started talking about his mob ties and stuff. And I was like, hey man, look, you know, we can keep it boxing. I don't really want to talk about that because, you know, hey, I may have my phone might be tapped or something, you know. But it was just a joke to him, and you know, having him on, and we got a chance to talk with Bob Corey. I mean, come on, man. I mean, I haven't seen he hasn't been on anybody else's channel but yours, and that was great to have him on there, man. He was glad somebody reached out to him, man. So it's always good to, you know, put a smile on their face by letting them guys know that we don't forget about them.
Oh yeah, yeah, and even like the guy like Lou Tucciarelli, when we had him on here, man, it was a great show. You know, Lou from up in Buffalo, and
Oh yeah,
oh man, when we had George Foreman's brother Roy on here, that was when I first started doing this. It was like, dude, and he's telling us about the gloves he thought the wraps were tampered with. You know, telling us this shit from 30,
right.
40 years ago. Classic stuff, bro. And how do these fighters, how do they react when you call them? They say, who's this nut trying to get in touch with me? Is this guy looking for money? Or, you know, I mean, really, that's usually when I reach out to guys, I get a little, how much money are you going to give me for this? You know, do you ever get shit like that?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, remember we talked to Troy Dorsey? What'd he say? How much money am I gonna be getting? Like, hey man, you know, I always tell them guys, look, man, we don't get paid for this, man. I wish we did, you know, but we don't get anything, man. This comes from the goodness of the heart, man. And you know, Michael Nunn was like a real tough egg to crack because when he first had got out, I spoke with him and I said I want to try to get him on you know, the show that I'll be on for an interview and talk some boxing with us, you know. And I never say interview, I always say talk some boxing with us because I'm sure there are two things they're probably tired of hearing: interview and who hits you the hardest, man. So I never ask them questions who hits you the hardest or about it. I just never do that. You know, it's just my way of doing things. And he told me, he goes, hey brother, I don't want you making any money off of me. And I told him, hey, look, man, I'm not making any money doing this, man. I'll tell you what, you talk to Reggie Johnson, you talk to John Scully, William Joppy, you know, Michael Grant, talk to them guys, man, because he talks to them guys. And I said, they can vouch for me. He goes, well, I'll tell you what, man, I might give you a call back and I may not. I said, okay. So, you know, I waited. You know, I didn't really much wait, but man, about maybe 3 days later, Reggie called me and Reggie was like, hey man, you talked to Michael Nunn? I was like, yeah. He said, well, hey man, he gonna talk with you. He gonna do an interview with you. And I was like, yes, you know. So then Michael Nunn, you know, he finally did call me. We spoke, and I got him come on Drew's show, man, and we had a great time, man. And yeah, I know a lot of them, like Frank Tate was talking about $500 for an interview. I was like, man, come on, man, I ain't that serious, man. So yeah, every now and then you might get one of them that they want some money and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I ain't.
Well,
we're not doing it like that, you know.
It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. A lot of these guys, they don't have the money like the fighters do today. You know, we look at these guys and we see who they fought, and we just say, oh, these guys got to be millionaires. But a lot of these guys, they're on Social Security. They're in Section 8 housing. I mean, these guys have some hard luck towards, you know, a lot of these guys like Marlon Starling, for instance. I got to meet him within the last few weeks. I met him down in Pennsylvania, and I had him. We tried to get him on the show, but his computer's not working. I was on the phone with him for an hour in the afternoon, and he was trying to get his computer going. He's getting frustrated, but my friend Brian, who's Tim Witherspoon's events coordinator, he's trying to get this all together too, because see, his idea is that these guys, they can put together their own YouTube channels and they can make some money. You know, they can, you know, people are interested with these legends, not coming on here once every 6 months, but if they can like on a regular basis. So he's trying to set these guys up. In fact, Marlon's got a channel now. Michael Nunn's got a channel. A lot of these cats now, they're starting to get hip to it because this is where it's at. YouTube, the internet, and it's a great thing. I got to call Marlon later and see if he got his computer because Brian was going to send him a laptop. He's got some computers at his office that they're not using anymore, and the boss said, yeah, you can give them to these boxes. But anyway, man, I think I see somebody coming in the back room here, man. I think I see the guest of honor. It's going to be a pleasure for me to meet him. I know you met him anyway. Hey, man, let me introduce you to one of the most decorated amateurs in this.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, Mr. Flash Johnson. Oh, he dipped out. He didn't get a good connection. He's coming back. I got a feeling he's coming back. Device not connected.
There you go.
Oh no. No, it says device not connected. I can't let him. It's not going to happen.
Hello.
Oh, we hear you. Can you hear us?
Ah. Wow, I see him.
I see him.
Flash Johnson, how you doing?
Okay, hold on a second.
All right, we can hear you pretty well.
Okay.
Hey, Carlos Mendoza. Shout out whoever the people who came in here. If I missed them, man. Journeyman Black, salute to you, Impala, my brother. V for Victory's hanging in there with us, and MP, what the fuck? Arthur, you with us here, my brother?
Yeah, I'm back in the building now. I was out in the car, so I couldn't get any reception out there, so I had to come back in.
Hey, man, I'm Bruce Gass. It's a pleasure to meet you. It's an honor to have you on my show, my brother.
All right, my pleasure, man.
All right, man. Hey, man, hey, Arthur, I'd like for you to tell these people a little bit about yourself because I mean your amateur career outstanding, bro. I mean Olympic team, 7 free Golden Glove titles. Tell these people a little bit who you are, bro. Educate them a little more than I could, please.
Okay, well, I go by the name of Flash because that was a nickname given me throughout the Goodwill Games where I captured a gold medal, and my amateur career was, in short, 12 national titles. In fact, I set the record for most U.S. national titles won by a flyweight kid, a flyweight guy, and that record was 99 years in the making. And I'm still around the boxing scene, and every now and then I check to see if the record has been broken, and it hasn't been broken. So that's one thing. From there, I went on to I took a few years off, had some things to battle with before I turned pro, and then finally did turn pro. And within 4 or 5 fights, I fought a world champion, beat him. His name was Richard Clark, and from there we fought for the world title in Thailand against Pachit Sitbang Pachun. Was one of the worst decisions in all of boxing. In fact, I'm still waiting on an apology. So,
and that was only your 9th pro fight, correct?
Exactly.
And that's unheard of today. Maybe not so much, but that's crazy. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, my brother.
Yeah. But back in that day, it was, and for sure. But I had beat a world champion in my 5th fight. In my 5th fight, it was a non-title fight, and I beat a world champion in my 5th pro fight. And of course, like I say, at my 9th fight, after 8 fights, I fought Pachit and actually really truly beat him. I mean, just really disfigured that guy, and probably was the guy that was responsible for his retirement. But in any event, we kind of went after that whole deal because we wanted to, like I said before, I'm still waiting on an apology. so I just kind of take it with, what it's worth, because it's boxing, and boxing can be like that. But then I came back and won the North American title. After winning the North American title, I did win a few world titles, which was guided by the oldest organization in boxing, which is the National Boxing Association. So I won those titles, and then of course fought guys like Johnny Tapia, and you know uh, actually beat him in his hometown, and God rest his soul. But we had quite a few wars, Johnny and I, and every time we fought, I just absolutely thought I beat him every single time. But hey, it was a little different because he had Bob Erm and Top Rank and those guys that was able to, you know, uh, do some magical, situations with the numbers on the rounds. But you had to see the fight. But in any event, I'm thankful for the experience that I've been able to gain because um, it is served well to help the kids that I work with my foundation, and I'm just I'm a happy individual when it comes to that because I know if they're facing any kind of difficulties in that ring, I'm pretty much familiar with it, and so I can kind of walk them through it, talk them through it, whatever the situation may be. But for us little guys. Um, People don't really know about us little guys because I mean we were the ones that really kind of we're the ones that's got to get it right. We have to everything is technical. Everything is school book text. If you see a little guy fighting and he's able to be as good as he is, um, you know, we over here in America, we pay the heavyweights, so it doesn't matter what kind of heavyweight you are. You could be sloppy, you could be, it's a heavyweight thing. That's the way I kind of feel from a little guy's perspective. But over in Europe, little guys are, they are the gods over there. So
Well, right now, Monster Inui, who fought the other day, I mean, amazing, amazing fighter. Lower weight, Bam Bam Rodriguez. I think the flyweights, the bantamweights, I think they're getting a lot of shine right now, man. Guys like you were pioneers of that division. And do you feel like you were getting? You just said it was more the heavyweights over here. You feel you were getting the short end of the cards, the purses because you were such a small guy. And let me shout out to my brother Connor Loco out there, man. Thank you for coming by, bro. Peace to you, bro. We're talking to a legend over here. We're talking to Arthur Flash Johnson, former highly decorated Olympian, four-time challenger for a world championship. Man, I don't even know how many times, man, because I see the NBA and the IBF and the WBO, bro. I mean, you were well respected in all those federations.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, what I wanted, I think, most importantly, was to walk away from the thing of having captured a world title, and so I would say, that did happen with the NBA organization. They allowed me a chance. I think they were more clearer, um, more honest or transparent than some of the other organizations because even years later, we talked about things being changed. And of course, Angelo Dundee, who was my manager, worked very hard to change it till his dying day to get them to, you know, uh, change things to be the way that we all knew that it was. But when you're tackling something like that, there's a lot of political stuff that's involved, and it gets really really crazy, and you just kind of have to be around the right people, right situation, and you really just have to be positive. Even now, as I look back on it, as there is a hope. I still have a hope that things could be made right, and I end up actually talking to the president, uh, himself, who said, "Hey, Arthur, we don't want to open up a bag of worms. My thing is, heck, the bag of worms was already open when I went over there and half killed the guy, and you guys give him the decision. So it's just things like that. If you're gonna change things, uh, you're gonna have to be willing to go through some stuff. And so I think that's just definitely part of it. And you asked me the question, do I feel like I got short in? I think all of us little guys get short in. I mean, guys like Too Sharp, a lot of people ducked and dodged him, and so I didn't want to duck and dodge him, and so we fought him, and he was the only guy to ever catch me with a shot, and you know, uh, kind of ended all for me early, and that was the only that was the only punch, not the only time that I was ever knocked out was by him, and I never really talked about the reason why. And the reason why was I starved myself to make weight. I mean, I can say this now. It's almost 20 years, 30 years later. That was the reason why I got myself in trouble because I starved myself to make weight. And immediately after that, I went up in the next weight class. But hey, we're both friends these days. Mark and I were friends. We were friends back then. You know, we knew each other coming up in the amateur. They had a lot of respect for me, and you know, just the stuff that I was able to accomplish as an amateur fighter.
Now talking about we got some echo going on. Is let me see if that is that on is that on me? Let me go into my audio settings. Is the echo still there? All right, here, man.
Yeah, I'm on mute. I'm putting myself on mute.
Arthur, can you say something, please?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
For some reason, I think I'm making an echo in here. Oh man, I'm so computer illiterate, man. Like, can you hear that echo in the background right now?
I can hardly hear you.
Yeah, because I think that's on me. See, if I mute my microphone. Trick. Can you say something up there, brother?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's echoing. I put mine on mute while he was talking. It's still echoing.
All right, so I got mine on mute too, and it's echoing. Arthur, do you have two screens open on your computer?
No. I just have my. Well, you know what? There may be. Yes. How do I get rid of it?
I think if you just cross out of not the StreamYard, but if you could cross out of the YouTube stream.
Yeah, I am so not. I am so.
Bro.
Not good at this.
I think we fixed it. No, we didn't.
Is that it?
Hello? Is that it? Man. I'm making the echo. I don't know why.
Can you still see me on the screen?
We can still see you fine now.
Okay.
All right, man. Let's see. I've got to eliminate this echo. It's driving me nuts. Let's see. I don't really have anything to open here. Oh. I don't know what to say here, man. Everybody
close one windows.
I get you on that. I get you on that, Oscar. Well, you know what I'll do? I'll try to cut I'll take my mic out. All right, let me see.
Okay, I've got something here. It says remove from stream. Should I do that?
Echo cancellation. Yeah. You see that? Oh, see now? Yeah, see the echo's not here because it was through Arthur's. He'll come back again. I hope he gets that StreamYard down. But Trick, you can take your mute off. Let's see here, man. Let's see. Hello. Yeah. I think we're good.
Am I echoing?
Yeah. See, on StreamYard, if you go into the settings and you see audio, just you click out the it's called echo cancellation, and if you click on that, I think that should eliminate the echo.
It says edit audio here.
Yeah, it says audio. And no, yeah, audio, audio, and then there'll be some things to click on there, and echo cancellation. And I think that'll do it. Yeah, because this just came up. We're going nice and smooth for a little bit there.
Yeah, maybe I'm hitting the wrong thing here.
See, it's me echoing. Tricks. Stay safe and see if you echo too.
If I remove the
Oh no, we don't want you to remove. You removed yourself from the stream, but I want to add you back.
You hear me? Am I echoing?
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely something in your audio. And like I said, if you're on StreamYard and there's a thing that says setting, it's like a wheel. You see that on there? And if you can open that up, and it'll and that the third thing down says general camera and audio. You just click audio and hit that echo cancellation.
There's a thing here that says audio for sure. The avatar will be used with your cameras. I don't want to mess with that. Yeah, I just don't have that many options on my phone.
All right, let's see. Damn, yeah.
So there's a remove from stream, edit name, edit audio, avatar, or
edit audio. Edit audio.
Okay. All right.
And
there's a plus there. If I hit that, I'm gonna try it. I don't know.
All right, let's try it.
Oh, geez. No, I just did something else.
Okay, test. Still got it. It's almost like it's there's two microphones together. I know it's going to happen. Test 1, 2. Yeah.
How about the stop mic thing?
No, stop mic? No, that's just going to put you on mute. I mean, do that for 1 second, and I bet that will stop the echo. Do that for just 1 second. No, see? He did that and he went out. Device not connected. Arthur, connect that back again. But see, it's something on his end where it's making a crazy echo, and we can never get these questions done here. All right, let's check this out. I don't hear that echo. Test 1, 2. Arthur Flash Johnson, are you with me, my brother?
I'm still with you. My picture's not showing though.
Well, we got a perfect audio. If you can just start your camera back up again, and I think it should be. I think everything should be cool.
Okay.
I think we're good. I don't hear an echo on my part.
Okay.
Hey, look at that. 3 idiots, and we got this thing straightened out. It's not bad, man. God bless you, brother. God bless you. Man, this is cool, bro. You know, I was getting a little, I don't get panicky anymore because I've been doing this YouTube for about a year, and I know shit happens all the time. And, you know, if it doesn't happen, we'll do it again tomorrow. That's the way I look at it. But we just did a little bit of tinkering around here, and we got it. And once again, man, you mentioned Angelo Dundee. Did you ever have the honor to meet the great Muhammad Ali?
You know what? What's really weird, we were in the same boxing family. We were in places. We were in the same places at the same time. Never had a chat with him, never had a conversation with him. But we were family members, if you know what I mean. You know, during the funeral, he sat right in front of me for Angelo's funeral. I mean, he came out to see me fight. Angelo always talked to him about me, and of course, me to me about him. So, but the weirdest thing, we never sit down and had a conversation. So, you know how a member in the family is, how you you can have members in the family that you probably never have conversation with.
Oh,
That's what it was like.
I saw Muhammad Ali fight an exhibition. I could have stood in line and got an autograph picture, but I was 23 and I was with a bunch of friends, and I thought I'd see him again someday. And man, I never met him, never shook his hand, but I can honestly say, bro, I love that man. He was just such an inspiration for me in boxing for over 7 generations, man. He just a pure goodness. Anyway, man, that I just wanted to ask you that one. And I shout out Big Blunts in boxing over here, and my brother Joe's in here too. Joe's a great boxing fan. I think he's from Ireland. He got a question for you, Flash. He wants to know how you think you would have done against Michael Carbajal and Humberto Gonzalez at flyweight.
Well, here's what a lot of people don't know, that I fought Michael Carbajal in the amateurs, and I fought him twice, and I beat him twice. So that was something that the boxing world didn't know, because I didn't get a whole lot of publicity for it. But I beat him twice. In fact, Kennedy McKennedy, the one who won the gold medal, the featherweight, I beat him 3 times in the first. Of course, the first time we fought, I knocked him out. So a lot of those guys that I beat, handily, easily. So I don't think that would have been as big as everyone thinks, because I think it's almost like when you have somebody's number, whether it's amateur like Mike Tyson and Evander. Evander just had his number. But for the most part, I would say I would like to think I had those guys' numbers, although we never fought in the pros.
Now, getting back to that Johnny Tapia fight, that was in Albuquerque, Johnny's hometown. Yes. And that was a majority decision. That was by a point, man. That could have gone either way. Mm-hmm. How do you think? You think that was politics that worked against you there, man? Because that was
absolutely. I mean, I felt I beat Johnny, and you can, I probably looked at that fight a gazillion times, and sometimes you can look at it so much that it just, it's never going to change anything. But in every facet, in every way, I landed more jabs than he did, and I landed more telling blows than he did. And you can just go on and on. He was knocked down actually twice in the fight. They never called one knock. And particularly the last round, he was knocked down. They didn't call. I mean, it's a clear knockdown, and they never called it. But yeah, it was definitely a political moment for sure, and it was what it was. And again, God rest his soul. Nice guy, afterwards, but just had many demons to overcome, and I believe he succumbed, to that.
Yeah, that's tragic story. I'm gonna see if I can find that fight. Mm-hmm. We can put it on in the background and look at it a little bit here, man.
Mm-hmm. Arthur, I got a question. We spoke on the phone a while back. You was telling me about the scorecard with Bob Arum and one of the fights you had. I can't remember which one it was. Can you let everybody know what was deal with the scorecard?
Yeah, it was Johnny Tapia's. So here's how it went. When I entered the ring, the scores, Michael Buffrin, and so we all know who Michael Buffrin is, right? And so Michael Buffrin said that he was given a scorecard that read that the fight was technically a draw, even though many felt I won it. So if you go into somebody's hometown and they give you a draw, you already know what the score is there. Yeah. But Michael Buffrin says that Bob Arum took the card that he had and literally made sure that it was changed in the way it was going to be read. And he said he knew that, that's what they wanted. So he had no power to, change it.
The fix is in. The fix was in. There's just no two ways about it. You can't whitewash that, bro.
Right.
Now we're watching. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So it was just kind of one of those things where, I know he felt bad and kind of relating that kind of news to me, but we went through we deal with this and a whole lot of other stuff. Like Johnny and I, we fought in the amateurs. We both split a decision. Like I said, I felt that I beat him the first time, and then in the Olympic trials, I eliminated him from from the Olympic trials in '84. And so I think after that he went pro, and I kind of stayed around because I didn't see him anymore. I think he started to his march as a professional boxer and his campaign, and I think he was able to do a great deal of things again in that small weight. Johnny was yeah, he was a favorite in Albuquerque for sure, and they kept him busy, and he had the right guy that could move him along, which was Bob Erm. And me and Bob Erm, I don't know, he's probably not one of my favorite people, but hey, the guy's still around. He's still doing what he's doing, and what could I say?
Now, was the hatred, the animosity between Don King and Bob Arum as real as people say it was, or the media overplay it?
Uh I'm not really sure because I have to talk about, there are a lot of conversations that Angelo and I had, about the Bob Erms of the world, the Don Kings of the world. And let me tell you, they all had a lot of respect for Angelo. So uh, that was the reason that I didn't get completely messed over entirely by Don King was because of Angelo. So uh, you have to have some representation without question dealing with those guys, because if you don't, you are going to get totally molested. That's a term that I would use. So those kind of terms that I use for my kids today. So if you don't have any representation, you are definitely going to get molested. There's no doubt about it.
We're watching you and Johnny Tapia right now, man. You're doing a smooth boxing job. Johnny's a bull in there, and
Mhm.
and you're circling, popping him with that jab. This is toe to toe action over here. Oh, he just nailed you with a combination. This
Yeah.
is this is great stuff, though, man. Oh, you just got him with a beautiful hook to the. You got that Mexican left hook to the liver going on there, bro. Yeah, this is great stuff. And Angelo had he trained so many fighters. Was he like a hands-on trainer for you, a guy who was in the gym every day, or did he just come around basically a week or two before the fight?
Oh no, I mean, I think we had a relationship. I think I would spend weeks out at the camp. So, he would do his polishing, and his polishing was, making sure things that whatever the plan was going to be executed by me, working on those things while I'm there, at the camp. So, I mean, his thing is he was more of a motivator more than anything. I had a trainer. His name was Jim Oldenburg, and so we worked on the technical stuff more importantly. But Angelo was definitely the motivator to make sure that those things that we worked on was going to be carried out, in the fight, and a great reminder of those things that had to be done.
Okay. Now, what else am I going to ask you, man? Oh, I'm. I was talking to Trick earlier today. I said, this is not an interview. I don't write any questions down. It's just kind of a go with the flow and talk about shit that we remember watching some of these fights on HBO, on USA Boxing. I mean, this is just classic stuff. And
Hmm.
and you going toe to toe with Johnny Tapia. How was it in New Mexico? Did you feel like you were the B side? Did you hearing no cheers from the audience? Did you have any of your family or your fans in there?
Well, I had my wife. My wife would come no matter what. My dad was there. So my wife, my dad, and a couple of friends that would come out and support me no matter where I was going. But, I felt, the crowd never bothered me. In fact, that stuff kind of, got me, on fire, if you will. I just kind of felt like, hey, Johnny, I come here to beat you in front of your cat, your dog, your mama, your daddy, everybody. So that's the way I felt about it. And you have to sort of have that sort of attitude to go in
Wow.
to somebody's hometown, and 16,000, 17,000 people, roaring for him. You definitely want to hush them by hitting them with short punches and things of that nature, and being able to control the action and bringing a hush, a crowd amongst a crowd of 17 people whenever you land a perfect shot. And so those are things that I worked on. I just worked on, basically getting the job done, staying busy, keeping the jab in his face, and then as we went into the later rounds, you could see him start to fade, uh, and even in the second round, uh, you can see as I would, I would talk to him, basically let him know as we just saw there, just hey man, can you keep your punches up?
Yeah.
I'm focused on a whole lot of other things, focus on being in the ring was, it made me feel I was at home in the ring, so I could do those things. And so Johnny was a little bit taken back. He already knew that I could fight. He already knew that this was going to be a tough fight. In fact, I was told that he did not want to take the fight, but ABC would not give ABC. This is the fight that ABC wanted, yeah, to broadcast to the world. So uh, uh, they tried to do another fight, and so um, this was what ABC told him, that he had to take this fight. So in order for him to get the exposure that was um, that they were hoping to get. I put it that way. And
Hmm.
so they wanted a good fight, and they was not going to just allow him to fight anybody that he wanted to fight. And you look at a lot of these guys' records today. You look at a lot of the things that they do. Um, I'm just really not impressed with a lot of the fights today. For that reason, a lot of built up records, a lot of fighting a lot of guys that falls down when they get hit, with a shot and things of that nature. And so those things, for me, that's kind of turned me away from guys who are, they're busy popping off saying that they're the best, yet they're fighting nobody. And so those are the things that kind of.
Anybody out there that impresses you today?
Um, I'm kind of hard to impress, but I think about I'm trying to think about Chakor.
Mm.
He's one that I spent time with at the camp training as a coach of the U.S. team. I think that kid Chakor. I think Crawford is a pretty decent fighter. But here's one thing I do know: like I study those guys, and I go back and I look at their records. And if you look at their records in the beginning, they fought tomatoes. And for me, uh, the way I came up was different. There was no fighting, no tomatoes, and all that kind of foolishness. And so, uh, you know, I think, in my words of putting it, not to take anything away from them, but I think they had a little bit of training wheels. So they had to have training wheels. So that's how I call it, training wheels. And if you look at guys like him, and even Floyd Mayweather, look at his record. Look at his first 10 fights. Look at those records. They was fighting tomato cans. And so they got going, and I think they had training wheels. That's my
Now,
uh
do you think it might be some of the management doesn't want to throw them into the shark infested waters early? They really, I mean, the sad thing is you you're saying they're fighting tomato cans, but they're also only fighting once or twice a year now, which is
mhm,
ridiculous. I mean, do
mhm.
you notice that lack of inactivity, the lack of activity that's happening in boxing today?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I say that with all due respect, the good athletes, but let's take them to let's give them a flashback to the past, if you will. And if they had fought somebody who could challenge them, I mean, I get it. I get what the manager wants to do. He wants to, not put them in, that kind of water, that rough kind of water early. but if you're who you say you are and who you think they are, you know, I think you can test the water a little bit, and I think it would have, could have been perhaps a little different, but um, um, my thoughts of it is when I look at that and I see that, um, I just feel some kind of way about that whole situation. If they for the first 10 fights, I mean, I'm talking about all these kids
Yeah.
that Spence, all of them. Look at their first 10 fights. That's how you look at a record. Who they fought, you know, and so for me, I think they had training wheels, and I think that's the difference between my day and their day.
Hmm. No, man. I mean, like you said, your fifth fight, you're fighting a guy with over 30 professional fights. I mean, that's
Mhm.
nobody does that anymore. Nobody throws their fighters in with real trial horses,
Right.
real guys. Now you're putting your hands up in the air there. What's going on over here?
Well, I'm actually letting them know that I come to win.
Johnny Tapia, man, God bless him. He was one tough guy, and what a hard luck story. That's all I can say, man. It's
Yeah,
just so
yeah,
my Vida Loco. That was his
yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. Look at the flash, putting his hands up there, right in Johnny's face like Muhammad Ali. Damn. You must have heard a lot of boos from the crowd when you did that at that night, bro.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know that they were definitely hating on me for sure,
Uh,
and but I came to fight, and that's what it was all about. Was unseating him, as the champion, and unfortunately it didn't happen. But I think in Johnny's heart, I think he knew that he didn't win the fight. So uh, if you can beat a fighter to a point that he knows, forget about what the scores were. And and then right after the fight, Johnny did say those words. He said, "Well, listen to the judges." I mean, why in the hell would we listen to the judges? So who's listening to the? You're listening to the. I'm not listening to the judges because I know what the score was,
now,
and there were many others that kind of felt that way. But boxing is boxing, and I'm just hoping to change it for the good, for the better.
well, we're watching it now, and you seem to be scoring a lot more points. You seem to be definitely winning the rounds here. I think we're
Mhm.
only in the fourth round, the third or fourth round, and you're, you've got him frustrated. He's rushing at you, but you seem to have a little something for every aggressive move he makes, man. You're either going toe to toe with him, or you're hugging him, tying him up. So it's
Mhm.
good,
Yeah.
smart stuff. Now, let me ask you a question. Now,
Sure.
after four world title fights and coming up short, I mean, we're talking major title fights. Did,
Mhm.
did, did you get frustrated? Did something go through your head saying, "What's going on here, man? I'm better than these guys because you got great style, great power. Only been stopped once. Did
Mhm.
you kind of wonder if you're in the right game?
Mhm. Well, I mean, it definitely was a discouraging thing, but when you really look at the honesty, the real honesty part of it was, um, I really throughout my career I only lost two fights, and that was against Tim Austin and Mark Too Sharp Johnson. Um, the other fighters, I beat them all. Johnny, one I felt without question I won, and of course uh, the fight against Pachit Sitbang Pachun, which
Hmm.
was out in Thailand. I mean, clear wins, and so I mean I don't, I think that would have stopped me if I, kind of felt that way, moving forward, because uh, I see a lot of guys, that bitterness that, wears them down after a while. And I just didn't want to feel that way, about, my actions toward that. And so the way I look at the titles, uh, they are who they are. Uh, Again, it's a very, political circle, and it's definitely very underhanded situation. And I feel that the titles that I was able to win, um, deserve more honor, deserve more credit than those titles, which was again the WBO and of course the IBF. Those organizations, um, the NBA is just as reputable as they are, and I think even as they continue to move forward, even now, someday they'll get that the recognition that they should get, as an organization. But uh, no, I don't feel any kind of way that you know it was something that I was gonna give up on. You got to understand, I done stuff that most fighters didn't do. Uh, I mean, I retired for 4 years. I was retired for 4 years before turning pro, and
Um, can, can, can,
coming
can I
coming.
can I ask you? Can I ask you why you did that? Why you took those 4 years off?
Well, I had some things that I felt that you took a lot of things to think about. Number one, I you know known as a pastor, a preacher, a minister, and so I did a lot of ministerial work during that time, and during my time off, I also had a hurt hand as well because I had been fighting throughout the Olympics, and so those things accumulated together um, were things that took time to heal. And of course, I wrote a book. It's called um, Trials to Triumph, and I cannot, and I really talk about
Ooh.
my career. Uh, me being, uh, you know, taking that break, that long break for that period of time, and I kind of go like in detail with it. And it's just kind of one of those things that if you do ministry work, if you do pastoral work, that sort of thing, um, it was just kind of one of those things to be able to understand how that can be viewed by other Christians and things of that nature. So I kind of dealt with a lot in uh, I guess at the period of time that I was dealing with it when I came out of the Olympics. I really actually thought that maybe I would take a small break, but not as long as break as I did. And because of me taking that long break, um, it turned out to be something monumental because again, I'm out for like 4 years, and I couldn't think of anybody who had done that. Now,
Hmm.
I have heard parents say, "Well, Ali done it, Sugar Ray Leonard done it, yada yada yada." But here's the thing: they never did that coming out of the Olympics. I came out of the Olympics and I was retired for 4 years. And then when I came back, it was it was just that much could be that much, tougher for someone to do
Hmm.
it the way that it was done back in my day. And we're talking, I don't
Yeah,
know what,
you
20,
come out,
30
you
years
come out
ago.
of the Olympics. Your name is
Yeah.
hot. 4 years later, it's Arthur
Right.
who? You're,
Right.
you're
Right.
building up again. Hey,
Right.
let me see. I got a couple more people that came in. I want to shout them out, man. My brother Geo James is in here. My bro Picasso's in here, and Outlaw Boxing. Shout out to you, man. Joe's got another question for you out there. He wants to know if you've ever seen Riddick Bowe and Ray Mercer sparring with each other, and who got the best of those sparring matches.
Oh yeah, man. That I think about those two guys. Those are the two guys. Now I would say this: those were the two guys that, um, when I think about Riddick Bowe and I think about Ray, those workouts they were great. They were guys that kept you on your toes in camp, and they made camp a lot, a lot of fun. And so just being around those guys. When I see these guys now and I look at them, they both pretty much say the same things to me, which is Arthur. I learned how to box by watching you, and those things always take me by surprise when guys say things like that. And so when I think about them, man, they were uh, it was what it was in the camp. Everybody trying to get respect, first one thing and the other. But they had fun, and I think I think camp was fun, and those are memories that you don't get back um, those times. But when you look back on them, you see they were great moments.
Mhm.
I think a lot of things happened. A lot of things happened in the camp. I mean, I went to war with people like, Kenny McKinney and sparring with Michael Hall and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, we had a lot of respect for each other, and I think just the same with heavyweights, Riddick Bowe and Ray Mercer. They had a lot of respect for each other.
I met Riddick Bowe a few weeks ago down in Pennsylvania at a Legends weekend. What a nice guy. What a great guy. Funny. I mean, articulate. People are saying, "Oh, Riddick Bowe, he can't talk anymore." But bro, I can understand Riddick Bowe like I can understand you, and I hope you can understand me. But man, God bless Riddick Bowe because he's a true asset to the game, and he's still out there and just just a great guy. Shout out to my man McSmith. I just saw him popping in here, man. Shout out to you. And hey, man, you and Johnny Tapia, you don't like each other in this fight, do you, bro? This is a
No, we don't. No,
war.
we don't. No, we don't. It was again what it was. I came to win. I came to prove to him that I was a better fighter than he was, and just all those sort of things. And if you're gonna go to somebody's hometown, you might as well bring it, and bring it with everything you got. And so that when you think about this moment, like I think about it now, that hey, there was some great moments, had some great moments in this bout, and it was definitely a questionable decision that they end up giving him.
Oh
And
yeah.
even to this day, people say, well, it was close. Well, it wasn't close. It's close if you like Johnny, it was close. So I mean, there were times where I just clearly outpointed the guy. So and could make him miss by a mile. So
Hmm. He's frustrated for
yeah.
sure. Oh, I've never watched this fight like I'm watching it tonight, man.
Mhm.
I missed
So yeah, it was fun stuff. Fun stuff.
classic stuff. And
Yeah.
now fighting all these guys, who did you have any the toughest guy you ever stepped in that ring with?
Mhm.
Who? Which one was it, bro? Which one
I
was that?
would say it was um, um, Jimenez, Alberto Jimenez. It was a back and forth war. He and Mark Johnson had fought also a back and forth war. But I fought Jimenez in California. His name is Alberto Jimenez,
I'm looking at it right
and
now. That's just after you got back from Thailand.
yeah, well, that guy wasn't as difficult. I really just painted pictures on that poor guy. Um, I really painted a picture of just a clinic of boxing on Pachit, and I think eh, even after all these many years later, I really believe that I was responsible for his retirement because he did take such a beating in the fight, but it was what it was. Um, a tough guy, doable guy, but I think on the skill level side, I had him by a mile. So, um, um, so I wouldn't think he was one of the toughest. I think the toughest bout that I had, his name was Alberto Jimenez, and it forever changed me. I think it forever changed him as well.
Now, where was your home arena? Did you have a home base, or were you a road
Well,
warrior?
my home base was actually uh, Illinois, East St. Louis, Illinois. Um, that's where I was when I was fighting. I was actually living in Cahokia when I was fighting Johnny here, but that's where I was. That's where East St. Louis. I was like maybe 10 miles or so from where I grew up. Uh, but um,
I,
I
I see a
because
lot
I
of your
lived in
I see a lot of your
yeah
fights at Anaheim at the Great
I
Western
did.
Forum.
Yeah, yeah. I had a lot of fights in Anaheim. Had a lot of fights at the Forum, and it was uh, definitely a challenge going out there because I mean a lot of times my opponents would be changed from the guy I was originally scheduled to fight, and so you just had to be ready. You just had to be ready to make adjustments. because that happens. Of course, more in boxing than any other sport.
Any fights that you were brought in as the B side, brought in to lose, and you pulled the upset?
Uh, Say that again.
Are there any fights where you were brought in as an opponent with a lot of good names on your record, but then you turn the tables and you beat the house fighter? You have any fights?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I don't think I was ever brought in as a B fighter. I think I was given the opportunity to be a great representation of a top tier fighter, and they knew if they were fighting me that they had issues. They knew that if they were fighting me, this wasn't a walk in the park. And so that's the one thing that I think the Forum Promotion Group provided, was there's going to be good fights, and this was going to be a toss up, and no matter who was fighting, this was going to be a toss up. It was no easy walk in the park, and so that's why when I talk about the guys today. Uh, I kind of feel some kind of way because a lot of these guys do not fight guys who are competitive enough. Uh, I mean, if you want to be special at this, if you want to earn that Hall of Fame status, I think you have to walk on uh, water in a few fights. I really do, and not just fights that uh, seems to be um, you know, picture painted perfect for you. So you have to be able to make some adjustments during the fight. You have to be able to, um, when the going gets tough, go to the grind. Turn and 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 really yeah, push through those difficult moments. And I think if you do those type of things, then I say to myself, or I say to fighters who want to be considered as one of the best to have ever done it, uh, you have to fight the best. You have to fight the best.
Mhm. Now, I heard you're still in the gym. You're still training young kids today.
Yes, I am. Yes,
Man,
I am.
that's a beautiful thing. Can you want to elaborate on that a little bit for us?
Yeah. Say it again.
I said, you want to elaborate on that a little bit for us?
Oh yeah, sure,
Absolutely.
sure. I've got amateur kids that I start them off. Most of them come in. They're all ages from 8 to either way, all the way up to 29 years old. In fact, I just had a kid that returned from the nationals who gave a uh, great account of himself and came up a little short, but he did represent himself well as the small boxing community here in the city of East St. Louis. So I think he's going to be special. He's going to try out for the Olympic trials, and my hope is that he gives it 100% effort, and as long as he does that, I think he's going to be okay. Um, uh, but there are younger kids that I work with. Again, I start them off from 8 years old, all the way 9, 10, 11, and this what I've been able to bring here in the community is a lot of hope for the kids in East St. Louis, and it's hope that they need. That it gives them something to work towards and for, because we not only have a boxing program, but we have a mentoring program that's also accompanied with the boxing program, to where we do something called a round table periodically, where these kids can sit down and discuss the things that are more that are troublesome to them in their community. How can we change it? How can we make it better? What do they fit in at? Things of that nature. So it's a situation that I think it's a win-win all the way around, because I think when we offer this hope to these kids, their families are also helped, and it's a situation where it it really it changes lives. Lives are being changed, and whenever I go home and um, kind of sit down and sit back, usually my days are full because I know I've given everything that that I'm meant to give, and so and I think about the kids, and how they're benefiting from it, and what they're doing in the community, and it's a way that gives them that discipline that they need. On top of that discipline, it just helps them in their lives. Period. To know what it's like to put in the work, to know what it's like to work hard, to know what it's like to, because they watch themselves go from beginning to end. And so I've kind of given my program a little bit of a nickname of calling it Cradle to Career, but it's more of life changing. Life changing things that happens in their life. Every kid that comes through it may not be a champion, but he in boxing, but they will be a champion in life.
That's beautiful, brother. That's heartwarming. Get these kids out of the gangs, off the drugs, away from the guns. Get them in the gym. Let them learn. Let them learn what a real fight is all about, man. I mean, that's beautiful, beautiful stuff. I want to get back to this fight one more second, bro. How'd you get that gash above that left eye of yours, man?
I don't remember. I think some kind of cut. Maybe there was a clash of heads, clash of elbows, or something
Because
uh, that
Angie's
happened.
working on that big old gash.
Yeah, he was. Oh, he was excellent. He was the one of the best cutmen's ever because he could really stop. And there was hardly any blood that flowed from there. He was able to keep that thing uh,
Mm.
yeah, under wraps, under control.
Underrated cut, man. You never hear Angelo's name mentioned as in the Eddie the Clot Aliano, the Stitch Duran. You just don't hear Angelo known for being a cut man like that.
Right, right. And so he did a great job. And because he did that such a great job, there was no blood. Uh, it was stopped immediately. He stopped the bleeding, and I was able to continue and really kind of uh, you know uh, continue to fight the game plan that we had set. And that was the goal. That was the goal, and he accomplished the goal. And
Oh, we can see him with those swabs in his mouth down there. He's getting ready to make sure you don't get any blood in that eye. Hey, let me shout out my brother Mad Chad out there, bro. Thank you so much for coming in, man. Jeff Lucietta, my man. Peace for you coming in, bro. We're over here with the great Arthur the Flash Johnson. If you guys want to hear some great stuff, we're watching a classic fight with Johnny Tapia. We want to talk about a bad decision the other night, bro. You think Tiafimo got a gift. You watch this over here, man. Johnny Tapia's in the enemy's backyard, and he's not playing no patty cake over here, man. These guys are trying to take each other's heads off, bro.
right, right.
Oh man, great stuff, brother. Great stuff, man. And I'm honored to have you on here tonight, man.
Hey, man, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, and I thank you for having me. And it's my pleasure to walk down memory lane and just to have been able to do something like this and to leave something on record like this. I
And
think it's
I'm here to make sure these cats don't forget this shit, man. Because this was, I feel if God gave me a few more years, He says, Bruce Gass, I want you to spread the word of boxing out there and the benefits and how it's helping the children today, man.
yes.
Oh, I mean, and it all comes back. You started off as an amateur. How did you get into the amateur game? Did you have your parents who helped you get in there, or did you just kind of stumble into it?
Well, I think it was something that was meant to happen for me. I think it was something that as a kid I dreamed of doing, and maybe I saw a Muhammad Ali fight. Maybe I saw a Ken Norton fight, or a Big John Tate back in my day.
Ooh,
But I think for sure that it was something uh, that was meant to happen in my life. I think it was a destiny, if you will, a purpose, as because that was the only thing that I ever really wanted to do outside of singing. So I still sing today, but so as a musician and singer, uh, boxing was what a mix, quite a mix.
and you
So I
retire
started,
you can't retire from it from this day. Boxing is in your blood, and
yeah,
you're helping. It. I mean, it's in there. It's from
right.
cradle to grave, I guess, bro.
Right, right. And it always seems to come back to it no matter what I do, no matter how many songs I sing. And like I say, I'm a musician, but no matter how many songs I sing, no matter how many songs I write, whatever, whenever I have that downtime, I think about this definitely completes me. because I know what it did for me, and I can see clearly what it does for the kids that I work with. And so when I got started, I just there was a man by the name of Riley who had some boxing gloves. I I, I went out there and asked Riley, could I box? And I had no idea that I was going to get set on my tush. And this kid set me on my butt, put me on my tush, and it was from then on. Once I got up, I heard somebody in the crowd say, "Don't quit, don't quit." So I stuck with it, and and walked it out for many years after. Of course, it wouldn't be. It would take like 2 years later uh, that I would end up walking into a gym to box. Of course, I started boxing at age 12, but my experience with it was pretty early. I was either around 9 or 10 when I had my first experience.
Man, now, do you advocate defense in boxing? Because man, I think it makes such a difference, especially in the later careers. I mean, you don't look like you caught too many punches in these fights. Looks like you got some. Your hands are high. You got a lot of head movement. You don't go.
Mhm.
You don't go straight back. I mean, did defense play a big part in your career, brother?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think many sportscasters named me uh, a special defensive specialist. That's what they called it. So, a defensive specialist. And so I certainly advocate that in my gym. I don't want to see a
Ooh.
kid trying to do a Floyd Mayweather or any other kid, out there with their hands, tucked. Of course, you got to understand, Mayweather was from a brilliant boxing family, and so he learned defense even while having his hands down. And so those are things that I basically want to make sure that my kids are doing things technically right, that they're being technically sound, and that they are working on their craft in order to be a better them and not a better Mayweather or not a better somebody else.
Mm, man, you're definitely an asset to boxing today,
That's it.
man.
A nice hook.
Hey, Trick, you've been sleeping up there, man. You're the man who brought the man on here, man. Let's hear something from you, brother. Ask him a couple of questions, brother.
Man,
Uh oh.
I heard the England all day, man. But y'all been listening, but watching this fight, Arthur. Yeah, I was hungry, man. Yeah, but watching this fight, man. Watching you come forward. I mean, you look like a lot of guys are going people's backyards, man, and they it's like they don't take the fight to the champions.
Right,
And man, you took it
right.
to Johnny Tapia, man. So I mean, that's the way I'm looking at that fight, man. You took it to the champion. A lot of guys going to guys' backyard and they'll want to dance the last round or the last two rounds thinking that they got it wrapped up. But not here, man. It's the 11th round, man, and you still throwing leather.
And you're
You
not
heard him
even
with a
breathing.
left hook, man, about a few seconds ago, right for
Mhm.
yeah.
Right, right. And
And you
so
heard him with a
this
left
was
hook, man.
right. And so this was around this last round was the round in which Angelo told me we need a knockdown because we really need a knockdown. He just wanted to put some separation between me and Johnny at this point.
Hmm.
And so uh,
Yeah, he didn't want that close decision.
right, exactly. And he wanted to
Separation.
put some right. He wanted to put some separation behind it. And as you see, he'll get knocked down in this round, and they will not call it a knockdown. It's a clean knockdown.
All right, man.
And
We're watching.
yeah, yeah. So uh, Johnny was just kind of one of those guys could easily be intimidated at times. But if you had to not allow him to intimidate you, you had to be the guy that brought it forward, and you had to be the guy that did the thinking there, because that's what he was about. He was about coming forward, and he lands a good right hand there. That's probably the best right hand he landed in the whole fight.
Hmm.
Um, but he was a guy that he's just for me. I think he was just kind of made for me. He was a picture guy made for me, and so um, as we go toward the end of this bout, I really just kind of really opened up on him here.
Oh,
See, it was a clean knockdown.
left uppercut, wasn't it?
Yeah, he left uppercut. It was a clean knockdown, and
Beautiful.
he never even got warned
You
for it.
show it again, Bruce?
Yeah,
You show it again?
we're gonna show that one more time for sure, bro. Let me back that up a little bit here, man.
Yeah,
Make sure we get it over here. And you're going toe to toe. He doesn't like to go on the back foot. You're on your toes over here, man. This is the immovable object against the you know what I'm saying, bro. You guys are just trying to take each other's heads off over here.
right. Those were what they call big time blows, big time shots,
Big time.
blows.
All right, let's get ready. And we'll see. Let's watch that uppercut, man. See if this was a legit knockdown. Oh, that's that right hand right there. That was the best one of the fight. We was just saying. I went back a little too much, but this is too exciting not to watch again, bro. I can see us chopping this fight up round by round over here, man.
Yeah.
Spun him around, man. Make sure he didn't get set up.
Right.
And you still got that pop in that jab, man. That's just oh, there it was right there. Right on his knee. His head snapped back right on his knee. I'm sure they're going to show that in slow motion. He didn't want
No, they never did. They never did show it back in slow motion because
whoa.
Yeah, they never did show it back in slow motion. They never did.
Oh, Angelo must have went crazy. He must be going. Look at you. Oh.
Yeah. And so he would kind of run up and only to kind of slow down once he got there. So,
yeah, he ran up on you, but then he put the brakes on. Oh man, you just classic stuff here, man. Classic stuff, and you guys are fortunately you're in the 12-round era. Can you imagine if this had 15 rounds?
Right.
I think he would have knocked him out, to be honest with you.
Right. Yeah, he was pretty much done after this round here. He was done in the 12th round. He had nothing else.
And your gas tank is still full. You can still got half a tank there, bro.
Yeah.
What'd you do? Did you do a lot of running, a lot of conditioning, strength training?
Well, I did for this particular fight. I did train up in the hills, a lot in Albuquerque, and so as he's waving his hand, he gets hit with a shot. So.
No, I like when he just kind of put his hand up there to get the crowd going. You popped him with the right hand. Man, there's almost nothing I don't like better than watching fights like this.
Yeah,
this is great ending. And look, he's shrugging his shoulders. He's not sure he won this fight, and you're right up there, bro. Look at you the guys are throwing you the finger.
You can see now they're gonna throw cups at me and everything. You'll see.
Oh man! And look, he's got you on his shoulders, bro. Wow. I mean, that's pretty much taking the knee right there. That's pretty much you won the fight, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good one, man. And so
that's a 10-7 right there.
Are they going to show this the knockdown? Oh yeah, there it was right there. Boom. Oh, that's the left uppercut. Boom. I guess this wasn't even a knockdown. Those punches looked like they should have knocked him down. Yeah. And he's coming back. Wow. What a tough fight to lose, man. World championship fight to a Hall of Fame fighter. You fought a lot of really, really high-ranked fighters in your career. A lot of Hall of Fame fighters, man. Two-Shot Johnson, Johnny Tapia.
Yeah. And so I just kind of wait my time. I sit back and maybe the boxing gods will get it right. So
now it looks like you're reading that scoreboard over Michael Buffer's shoulder there, the scorecard. Did you know that you had gotten burnt before they announced it?
Yeah, I think it was definitely a surprise that it came out the way that it came out. Michael Buffer didn't even want to read it. So that just kind of shows you where he was on that. So, but yeah, again, it was what it was, and so it just kind of, it's, what can I say? What can one say? It's boxing.
Well,
And
man, we're lucky enough to still be here. We still have half of our marbles. We can watch this stuff. We can enjoy it. We can laugh about it. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of as good as it gets on YouTube, man. There's so much rivalry going on here. So much tribalism. So many people who are getting so serious about their favorite fighters. It's almost they're challenging each other. It's crazy. But see, I don't go in that direction. I go back to what I was raised on. I go back to the boxing that I loved. I got Trick Nolte calling me up and telling me he's got these fighters on the line. And Arthur, you coming in here, bro. I mean, this was beautiful, man. I just want to thank you for coming in here, man. I know we took up an hour and a half. It was fantastic. We actually beat the internet tonight here. The internet thought it was going to beat us there. And
well, let me say this. It was my pleasure. It was my honor. But I got like 5% left on my phone, so my phone is probably going to go off at any time.
All right, man. One more before you go. Tell them the name of that book. I want to see if I can put that in the links. And just say goodbye to us, man, because we're gonna definitely talk to you again, brother.
All right, no problem. Trials to Triumph by Arthur Flash Johnson is the name of the book. And I just want to say, hey, it was an honor going down memory lane, looking at this fight. And again, it was my honor just to be a part of this program. I think it's something awesome that you're doing, man. I want to wish you the best. And I want to thank you, Anthony, again, for reaching out, and I really appreciate it. Again, it was great. I enjoyed it, and I look forward to returning at some point.
Absolutely. God bless you, my brother.
I'll be back again.
All right.
Hey.
All right, I'll keep in touch with you. Take it easy.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely,
that
man.
was awesome,
Peace.
man. That was
All
awesome.
right. Okay. Bye-bye, guys.
Yeah. All right. God bless.
Great stuff, Trick, man. Great stuff, man. Once again, you're the man, bro. You bring it on, and I'm lucky. I'm the mouthpiece over here. I'm lucky. I can ask these questions. And man, that's a great guy, man. He just took over. I didn't have to.
Yeah,
I didn't have to think. It was fantastic, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sorry I got on camera for a second, man. I haven't ate nothing like all day, man. My stomach was, man, I was hungry. But hey, let you cook with him, man. Hey, I've already spoken with him, talked with him, and everything.
Yeah, no, that's why you tell me that. You tell me that,
man. That's for you in the chat, man. So
yeah, man, I'm glad you were here.
Yeah,
I thank you for
man.
Together for us, man. The way it is, who knows what's going to happen Tuesday night? We're going to try to have Buster Mathis Jr. on here, and man, Trick Nolte.
Yes, sir.
Tell them how they can get a hold of you on Facebook. I think I'm your Facebook friend now. I just started getting back on Facebook, Instagram. Trick doesn't have as much on his own YouTube channel. Once in a while, he'll surprise you with a live on there, but he come on here. You can catch him on Drew's channel. You can catch him all over, man. When Trick's there, it's going to be serious boxing. It ain't going to be no bullshit. So Trick, man, thank you so much for coming on here, my brother.
Hey, I appreciate it. And yeah, y'all can find me on Facebook, Anthony Carter. That's my government name, and I'm on Trick Nolte on Instagram, and you can find me on also Drew's Titans channel on Sunday, and sometimes I come over here and chop it up with the OG Bruce Gas, man. You my brother for life, man.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
Hey, stay blessed, my brother. I'll talk to you this week.
Everybody in the chat, man. Y'all have a great evening, man. Yeah, we'll talk. All right, y'all. Peace, y'all.
Peace, man. Peace. I don't know what to say, guys. Another great show, and this was one that 5 minutes before it started, I didn't think we were going to have it over here. My brother Trick, man, he blessed me bringing on a very, very awesome fighter from the past, man. Flyweight, decorated amateur, highly decorated pro, 4 world championship fights. We just saw. I mean, he beat Johnny Tapia, bro. Me and Mad Chad will chop that fight up. We'll score it. And when Chad and I were down in Pennsylvania, we went to this amateur event. It was in a big hall. There must have been about 3,000 or 4,000 people there. And there was some, a lot of young kids, a lot of young amateurs fighting. And I went to the bathroom, and it was just after one of the fights. And I'm taking a leak at the urinal, and I can hear one of the coaches, and he's telling the kid, he says, "I told you, man, we're in the enemy's backyard. You're gonna automatically be down by a round. You can't let up at all." And this kid, he's crying. He just lost a fight, in front of 4,000 people. He's only maybe 14, 15 years old. But Arthur just told us, man, the Flash just told us, man, you're in the other people's backyard. Michael Bufferin, he called him. I love that, man. Oh, Michael Bufferin knew right away that those cards were stacked against him. But either way, man, I appreciated that. That was a great night. And like I said, man, next Tuesday I'm gonna try to have Buster Mathis Jr. on here, man. And if you don't know who he is, Google it. Google Buster Mathis Sr. He was going to be I mean, we get these great amateur fighters. These guys aren't just great amateur fighters. These are Olympians, bro. Buster Mathis Jr., he fought Mike Tyson. He fought Riddick Bowe. A lot of names we throw around here. And we don't just throw them around. We catch them once in a while. So shout out to Major Key last night, man. He made me feel real good on there. He had his 1,000 subs, man. I just hit 700 subs. So thank you guys so much for subbing to me, man. That's amazing. I can only imagine if I ever hit 1,000. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but Major Key, he just went through and he thanked everybody. Almost everybody I see in here was being praised by Major Key, man. Real humble show. Real great appreciation show. And I was listening to it last night. I was nodding off. I was in bed and I heard it. I wasn't even near the keyboard. But this morning I got up and I played it back. I played it for my wife. I said, check this out. I said, he really greased me up last night. And he just, all I can say is thank you, my brother, Major Key. I'll see you around. I'll see all you cats around. Bruce Goes Boxing, Bruce Gas. When I say Bruce Goes, that's my G name too. I don't even use that anymore. People ask me my name. I have to really think for a second, man. I'm Bruce Gas. But the damn fucking thing is, and my mind just slipped on me. I want to get this in here, man, before I went away. One more thing I wanted to say. Oh, yeah. I want to thank Facebook because I'm doing that show live on Facebook. Twitter, for some reason, Twitter's not letting me show it live, but I'm going to repeat it on Twitter. If anybody wants to do me a favor and share it on Twitter for me, appreciate that. Trying to get more people interested in this because the more viewers we have, the more the fighters won't blow me off, and they'll look at it like this is a decent platform to come on. And that's what we're going to do here, man. No bullshit here. No free smoke. No open panels. Once in a while I go a little crazy, but for the most part, I like to talk serious boxing. I like to show fights. Even now, fucking StreamYard is playing games over here. I can't play the music in the background, and I have to open up another thing and this and that. And every once in a while, they're friendly. They change by the day, but Bruce Gas doesn't. Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Thank you so much for coming in here, man. I'm out of here. Peace and stay blessed.